Hi everyone, so welcome back to another episode of the Rhondda Valleys podcast. So this week's guest, I'm joined by the lovely Sophie Evans, our professional Westend actress. How are you, Sophie?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So firstly, we're going to just talk about her journey on how she got into acting and singing and on the West End. So firstly, can you tell us, what age did you start singing?
I started singing at about 3 years old, which is extremely young because I've got a niece and nephew, and looking at them thinking they could start singing in like 6 months is quite strange. But yeah, just from 3 years old, my parents have got like home videos of me singing everything and anything to anyone that would listen.
That's mad. And obviously, I know there's like, your mother's a good singer.
Yeah, my mother is a good singer, so I think she would sing to me all the time. And I can actually remember like being very young and having her sing to me, so maybe that just sparked something in me. So I do sing to my nephew all the time, and he is actually showing signs of being quite musically inclined.
Ooh, you're like taking him to cook, like, come on, encouraging him.
He's been to watch me sing a couple of times, and I mean, for 2.5 years old, you'd think, oh, he'll sit through an hour and he'll get bored. He came to the proms with me a couple of days ago in Singleton Park in Swansea, and I mean, that's heavy going. It's classical music, like operatic singing by some people, and he was there from 2 o'clock till 10 o'clock in the night and didn't go to sleep and was just loving it. And it's amazing really that a 2.5-year-old could sit through it all.
Yeah, that's amazing. And obviously you've always been passionate about it, and there's obviously family members who can sing as well, so obviously it's in the family. So when did somebody realise, so when was at age, what did they realise that, like say you were singing, that's a hobby, when did they realise, right, she's got a talent and we need to get her trained and lessons?
Yeah, I never actually went to lessons as such. I mean, I had a couple of lessons in school that were offered out free, but I do remember like some instances when I did my concerts in school, and even in primary school, I remember like having a mock audition with the teachers, because they try to make, give you like talent and skill in school for like future things. So they'd audition me, and I would like riff and stuff that maybe 10-year-olds don't normally do. And I remember them like laughing, and not in a bad way, but just like as if this 10-year-old is riffing Hopelessly Devoted to us, like Olivia Newton-John. Like, why isn't she singing it like every other kid does in the school, quite like regimented? And so I think like obviously they would push me and make sure I was the lead role and like living up to my potential and stuff. And then when I went to Tonypandy Community College, I was lucky to have a really good drama teacher, a really good music teacher, Martin Childs, Louise Martin Thomas, who were both amazing influences in school. They just really pushed me. They were like, if you want to pursue this professionally when you're older, make sure you do a music GCSE, because I didn't take it as a GCSE, so Mr. Child stayed after school so that I did that. So I was really given the grounding to make sure that I had the best chance. And I did amateur dramatics as well with Mid-Rhondda Amateur Operatic Society for like 6 years, which is just, to be on any stage when you're young is good. It's a good opportunity.
Yeah, and obviously at school, so you was at school learning at GCSEs, but obviously you took the initiative yourself to then audition for the Dorothy over the Rainbow. So what made you do that?
My mother was listening to Elaine Page on Sunday on BBC Radio 2, which I still listen to, big fan. And it just came about that Andrew Lloyd Webber was searching for a Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and there would be open auditions all over the UK. And we'd watched like the Nancy programme, The Search for Joseph and things like that. So I was like, this is something I could do. This is the line of work I would love to go into when I'm older. So let's go. I've got nothing to lose, but potentially something to gain. And that's kind of my advice to anyone who wants to do, doesn't have to be performing, anything that you've got like something that you love. Every opportunity is a good opportunity, no matter what comes out of it. Like that experience, you'll never let it go. So we went along, and it kind of snowballed from there. My life's been crazy ever since.
And obviously, so when you got into Dorothy, you got shortlisted, and then you got onto the live shows as well. That is when the professional training started, wasn't it? What was that like, going from just practicing, just having a laugh really with it, to now it's professional?
Going from doing my AS levels. I mean, I've got no proper qualifications, but I mean, hats off to people who go to uni and stuff. I just don't think that was ever me. I loved school and I loved academic things, but writing essays and stuff is just not me. So the fact that I got to leave school a bit early was really nice. And I got down to the finals. They were like, you're going to be on the live television shows, which will be broadcast every Saturday night across the UK to millions of people. And at 17, I was like, that's amazing. I didn't even like feel I did feel a bit nervous because I wanted to sound good, but it was more exciting, I think, whereas if I did it now I'd be like really nervous because you analyse when you get older, you just analyse things more. But I do think it was the best training I could have had. You would never get that kind of intense training in a college. Like we would have to learn like 2 solos each a week, a group number, an opening number, a sing-off number, learn both parts of the sing-off, and we do that in like 5 days. So it's just such intense training over, I think it was like 12 weeks, that nothing really would ever compare to that, I don't think.
When did it hit you? So when did it get to the point where they, obviously doing the Dorothy experience, I'm guessing I know when it hit you, but when did it actually hit you thinking, right, this is where it's going to this is where my life has actually changed?
I mean, the final was pretty intense. I haven't told many people this, but when it came to the final, obviously it's me and one of my friends, Danielle Hope. Oh, sugar, might just broke something, I think, in my sister's garden. So when it was the final, me and Danielle, we were walking down the like curved stairs either side of the studio in London towards Graham Norton, who was the presenter, and I could see my family in the audience, and I just had this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know if I'm ready for this yet. This is what I want to do, but I'm 17. I kind of just want my parents to take me home now. I want to go home and just be normal for a bit, and I don't think I could cope with winning. I felt this really weird pressure of like, if I win, I'm actually going to be doing it.
Yeah.
Which was really terrifying. And obviously it sounds really ungrateful, but I was so happy to be there, and I couldn't believe I'd even got to the final, that it was like just dawned on me in that split second, what's happening? If I win this, I'm gonna have to do 8 shows a week. Like, what's going on? And after having no professional training, that just seemed terrifying. So when my name wasn't called, it was a weird relief, but like achievement at the same time. Like, you've done it, but you can relax. You won't have to be on This Morning tomorrow morning. You won't have to go on Lorraine, and like all these things that just felt so daunting to me. But then next day came, and Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber.
It was different.
It was a bit different. Yeah, he rang my mother, and she like was in shock. Obviously, she's like, Andrew's on the phone, and I was like, oh my god, what's he saying? And basically she's going like, shh, let me listen to what he's saying. And he went on to tell her that we'd still love Sophie to be Dorothy, but just once a week as alternate on a Tuesday, and we'll put her through drama school for 3 months. So he paid for me to go to drama school and gave me like pocket money to live in London, because I mean I had no money, it never worked. So really that was the best outcome for me, because I got to learn, I got to still do it, but gradually work my way up to the part.
Yeah, not so daunting, not so much pressure, everything like that. Yeah, sounds fun.
It's great. Honestly, when I say it out loud every time, even though I've spoke about it over the years, it still sounds bonkers that I was 17.
Yeah,
I know. It's so weird.
But then, like, with Dorothy then, you was done it once a week, but then it went on to you done it full time, didn't you?
Yeah, so I did it for a year as alternate, which luckily for me, I think because I'm Welsh, I'm from the valleys, there's just such support. So it kind of got a nickname, Welsh Tuesdays, because bus loads would come up on the coaches. You could like organise it through Edwards, that you get the bus trip and a ticket, and I'd always come out at the end, sign everyone's programmes, and it really was like the Welsh country was coming to London just to see me, which was really special. And then obviously I did all of her holidays in it whenever she was sick, and unlucky for her, but lucky for me, she was sick quite a lot, so I was on quite a lot, so I gained that experience of being able to sustain 8 shows a week. So then when it came to her leaving in a year's time and they offered me the part, I was like, yeah, I can do this now, because I've had the grounding and the practice. I've done 8 shows and I'm ready to go, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fab. And then once you finished that, you also, I know you appeared in a film
as well.
Yeah. That was mad for me, seeing her on there. That was crazy. But what was that like?
To be honest, I don't know how these things happen. Well, I do, because I audition, obviously, but you just think, what have they seen in me to put me in this film? So I'm a big Simon Pegg and Nick Frost fan anyway, who have obviously done Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and they've done a lot of stuff separately. But so it came about this audition for The World's End, which was meant to be the third part of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. The World's End was kind of a trio, but obviously the stories are not connected, but they put it out as a 3. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. The part came up. It was quite a small role, but featured, so you definitely see me. So I went in. The audition process was really fun. Got to work with other actresses and stuff, and just do something that I hadn't done already, because I'd only done musical theatre, obviously. And yeah, when they called me and said, yeah, you've got the part, I was thinking, you're joking me. I've just done a West End show and I'm doing a film. I was
it's completely different.
Completely different. So on, like, being on set and getting picked up in the morning, honestly, it's another world. You get picked up in the morning, take you to set, you get breakfast when you're there. You've all got little, like, trailers each, like, obviously I was a smaller part. My trailer was little, but it was really cute. And then you'd get your costume sent in, then you'd do your hair and makeup, and then you'd have lunch, and it was just, you were treated so well. And then when it came out, it was bonkers. And I still get messages now where people go, oh my god, I never knew you were in that film, I've just watched it. And I was like, that looks like Sophie. And then they check and it is me, because the part's quite crazy, but it's awesome. And then I went on to do another film called Pride, which is actually set in Wales, true story. And if you haven't seen it, it's set in the Swansea Valleys, which obviously not far away from here. And it's such an amazing story that definitely people from the Rhondda could relate to. And it's just magic that it's true. The support that the Welsh people show other communities, it made me cry. Like, it's such a brilliant film.
We are. Welsh is great as
we
well.
are. Everywhere I've been over the world, like, people always say we love the Welsh people. We find you so welcoming and friendly, and it's not just that we're biased about ourselves. Like, people notice it.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously I've got to touch on the facts. I know that is something you wanted to do for such a long time. That you was in Wicked.
I
know. I mean, it was so tough.
It sounds so weird to say that I was in Wicked, because it was only like I think it's 9 weeks ago on Saturday that I finished. So it's still a little bit fresh, but like enough that I can like reflect on it now. To be honest, I went to see her when I was 15 with my mother, my auntie and my nan, and I was just blown away. I was mesmerised by the music. I'd listened to it constantly, and it's funny, it was only about a year and a half before I auditioned for Over the Rainbow, maybe less, maybe a year. And my mother, she's quite spiritual and, likes to think she can, like, imagine things happening, and I love that, and I kind of have that ethic as well. But she said she had this overwhelming feeling that I would be doing something like that soon. She was like, we were sat there watching Wicked, and she said, I could see your face, like, light up, and she was like, I just had this feeling she's going to be doing this. I know she is. And out of all the shows I've ever seen, Wicked was the one that I was like, if I ever get into musical theatre, if I can be in Wicked, I'll feel like my life is complete. And that is kind of how I feel, which is weird at 26, when you think I've done what I wanted at the pinnacle of my career. I've done it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to know where I go from here. But Wicked was the most amazing time of my life. 2 years with some best friends, singing Stephen Schwartz music to 2,500 people, like, every night was... I can't even explain it. No. It's unbelievable.
I'll be honest, of all the musicals I've seen, Wicked have always been the best, and the song Defying Gravity.
Yeah, I know.
It
used to make me cry nearly every other day, honestly.
It tops it.
I cry all the time.
Also, and then obviously we gotta speak about the most recent news about your album.
Yeah.
So come on, tell us all about that.
Yeah, so my album, which I actually released yesterday, officially hard copy, but it's not on digital release until October the 4th. So when I was in Wicked, towards the end, I said, right, I want to do something that I can focus my mind on, because I'm going to be obviously sad that I'm leaving. And I really think I should do another album. I did one about 5 years ago, which I was really proud of. And I thought, I'm going to do this one myself, going to fund it all myself. I'll have the musicians that I want, the people that I want to help me organise it. I can decide all by myself, which was really cool.
That's nice. That shows more about you and your style and everything like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone down the route of trying to get a record label. There's no saying I would have, but then you don't quite get as much say. People would be dictating to you what they think you should do, and this way, of course, I'd have advice, because my friends that I asked to help me are very musically talented and would help me. But at the end of it all, like, what I want is going to be on this. So the premise this time, I wanted to have icons of mine on a CD. So growing up, I was influenced by music that my parents listened to, like most of us probably. I would listen to Celine Dion, Barbra Streisand, Queen, Whitney Houston, like all the big voices. So I picked 6 songs that I think represent the icons that inspire me the most. I've got Celine Dion, Queen, but then modern day influences such as Sam Smith and Lady Gaga, I just thought that you can kind of get a taste of me through the album. Obviously, I'm doing it in my own way. I don't sound like Celine Dion when I'm singing by any stretch, but I thought I have to honour her. I went to watch her when I was 5 years old at Wembley. I mean, who takes their 5-year-old to go and watch Celine Dion? My mother did. I don't know. I would take. That's the thing. Now I'm looking at my nephew and I would take you to see Celine Dion. Actually, yeah, I would. So yeah, it's amazing. It's called Icons, and I'm super proud of it. And yeah, you can get it via me if you Instagram me, or you can digitally download it. But if you get it through me, I'll sign it and send you a message and stuff. Or if you come to any of my gigs, I don't know if this will already be out by the time of the gig.
I know we do have, because there was a gig arranged in the Park and Day,
yeah,
but
so
it's
that
been
one's
rescheduled as
yeah,
well.
so the Park and Day is having some refurbishment done. It's going to be beautiful, but they thought it would be done by now. So I've got 2 gigs at the Park and Day where my album will be available, November the 22nd and 23rd. So nice run up to Christmas presents for people.
Yes, definitely.
I think that's a good idea.
Yes, really good.
Yeah,
because I know you had the events coming up, so yeah, I want to come to it. Me and my mother want to come to them. So,
oh yeah, good.
Yes.
Fab.
My mother's like, oh, should you take the kids? I was like, I don't think they sit through it, because they know as well behaved as you know.
Yeah, no, maybe your oldest one could sit through the first half, but yeah. I don't know. It'll be about an hour and 45. Maybe it's a long evening for a little girl.
Fab, yeah, awesome. And yeah, so obviously I was going to ask about the album, but obviously if people want to get in touch, they can go to yourselves. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very
much, and I'm bound to see you again, obviously.
Yes, thank you for having me, George.
And thank you everyone for listening. Next episode will be coming soon. Thank you. Bye.